some reason. Got it lagging a little bit. Alright, first things first, my name's Kenneth Bird. My company is ILEG Technology Screens. We're doing portrait today. So we're doing portrait projection today. I forgot all about this option to be able to do this with these projectors at the end of the day. Due to the fact that the projector I'm using on this side over here is a extended throw lens or zoom throw lens projector. So it's completely different. It actually shoots a much narrow image at a farther distance, where we have this projector here, which is actually a standard throw. And this will give you the standard throw at 100 inches or at 12 feet. You'll get about 100 inches, where this one requires 18. The one right here. This one has a bridge. No, this one has the bridge. This one doesn't have the bridge. So I'll turn that around. We also got to do a little projector repair. That has to be opened up. We have to go in with to slice one of the screws, turn it into a flathead, and pull it out. Because, yeah, it's stripped. And that's a headache. But anyway, this is a portrait setup. So how do you do this for under $300? Well, number one, it has our quantum technology sitting on top of it. That allows it to be to produce. Oh, sorry, we're going to need lights on for this. There we go. Allows our technology to operate in a fully lit environment where my screen is vertical, which I have no idea the size of. I know it's quite large. So basically with this, you have to be to go into your PC and you have to change it out to portrait, because the console systems won't allow you to do it. The only systems that give you capability to allow your consoles to do that are projectors that have portrait capabilities, which there's one in the Panasonic family that has the capability of doing it, actually a few of them. And then with the Sonys, the cheapest way you can go is the FH31, if you can find them, because they are extremely rare to find. If you get one of them, yeah. They're the only ones that have them. Other than that, most of the other projectors that carry portrait capabilities are very expensive. They're very, very expensive. This is the cheapest way I figured out have a portrait setup, because I've always wanted to have one, especially for projector mapping applications when we want to make portals and stuff like that, and especially when you're using micro mesh screens or you're using transparent technology. You want to have it where people can walk on both sides and see this portal on either side. So this is where this comes in handy. So with that being said, being able to have a projector to do this is costly. So the Christie LWs, any of the Christies have this capability, but these particular projectors, the LW400s, are fantastic because, again, they have a, sorry, right here, because you want me to see it, they're going to disconnect to show you this on the projectors. You can tilt the projectors up on their side like this. It will not damage the bulb at all. And on top of that, on the projector, you'll notice that there's a handle right here, so you're not blocking any vents. It's perfectly flat, so you don't have to worry about your projector wobbling and falling over. And another thing too, they have lens shift capability, which means you can shift your lens anywhere you want it. And in portrait, you're going to have very good keystone, and lens shift is very important, so you can direct your screen where you want it to go from left to right. Also, on top of that, keystone is very important, because you'll have to hit keystone for two different areas, which will be at the bottom and top, which one actually pulls the screen this way and this way, back and forth. You have to adjust that for keystone, and the other one is basically for the basic keystone you need to do the portrait mode. Other than that, for a $60 machine, I paid $50 for this one, or which one was it? It was 60 or 50, one of these for both in the day. But anyway, altogether, very cheap. And these are the best machines we use. When you see me doing projector mapping applications and I do a portal, these projectors are being shown. This is the same projector I use to push through a fish tank. We use this for projector mapping, just about every level, because that lens shifting capability comes in handy. And projectors that have lens shifting are expensive. Got to get in here and change out my lamp. I got my tools over there. I just got my unit in. So it's a fantastic projector for doing displays on. On top of that, these are the filters over top here. Of course, you change your lamp over there. Very easy. Lamps are like $35–40. On top of that, with our technology, we can operate just like that in a fully lit environment. So, how is this done? Well, our screen paint, the one that picks up the most, 187. We have a 187 kit. Paint the screen size up to 120. That's a pretty good size screen, especially when you're doing vertical. And these are mostly 100 inches. And on top of that, with the projector costing our customers only 50 to 60 bucks, even if you pay 100 bucks for, which is far cheaper than spending 3 grand or even $1,000 for a projector, it doesn't cost our customers to do stuff like this. And since our technology is the only one that actually pulls the Infinity 1 contrast level, which again, I can't express enough why contrast is extremely important. It carries a big role in everything you do in projection. It's very important. Now, could we do this a white screen? No. Could we do it with a gray screen? No. Again, contrast, 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 contrast. Still has to read. Still got to be in a fully lit environment. Not going to work at all, period. I literally go into forum sites and I have this conversation with people and it just scratches my head sometimes. This is why if I don't answer you back or I just don't conversate with you at all, period, it's the reason why. It's because I don't feel like losing a brain cell that day. If the projector, no matter where I position this machine, no matter where, whether it be sitting vertical, landscape, from the ceiling, floor, doesn't make a difference. If it doesn't read the screen, it's not going to read the screen. Repositioning your projector will not help you. I've literally had that conversation with somebody in a room. This is why I block people. That's why. You get to that point. Just got to look at them, put your hands up in the air, and just go, and then move on. But yeah, so now let's show you the lens shift compartment right here on the side of my projector right here, which gives me the ability to be able to shift my screen where I want it to go. So I can go from up to down right here. I can go from side to side. So I can bring it all the way over here. Or if it's in the way, which will be in the way here, I can bring it right back over there to the far corner near the door so I can see it. That's the beautiful thing about lens shift. If you ever have lens shift on your projector, you can't go back to any other projector. It is the best way to hang a projector from a ceiling because you never have to be in line with the screen ever. You can be a couple inches off, doesn't make a difference. Whoop, push it right back over it. You're done. That's it. That's what I love about it. Easiest projectors to work with are lens shift, but lens shift is a luxury item, so you know that. So you have a projector, maybe a high-end one that has lens shift, you can pay some money for it. That's a luxury item to have on a projector because all projectors don't come with them. And the Chrissy's, these projectors being at 40 or 50 bucks, again, are fantastic for that. Let me grab something here. Let me see. I got a little tape here. I want to show you this demonstration. Now, again, we do this because, again, we still have people stuck in the Stone Age on my channel who really believe that gray and white screen for some magical reason I do not understand. For some reason they feel if you position the projector in a different way, it's going to pick up a black level. I know, I can't believe I actually said that out of my mouth. Oh, there goes a brain cell. Doesn't work. Doesn't function at all, period. It won't work. So, you know, let's entertain it. Oh, let me see, got one here. Gosh, they put it against the screen. Let me see. I'm like, oh my goodness, really, seriously. We're starting the day off with this idiocracy. Oh, that's the name of the movie, Idiocracy. Like a planet where everybody was stupid. So, no, in this environment, if I'm running a white projection screen in here, it's not going to function at all, period. I'm going to have all types of difficulties with this. Is not going to work at all. And if I have a gray screen paint, it won't work in here either. Again, how am I going to pull up a solar system? How would that even work? I'm just curious. By any chance, when you buy this gray screen paint, does it come with a Harry Potter wand? Because that's literally the joke I cracked in one of the forum sites a couple of days ago on gray screen paint, some of them being more superior. Literally, I bumped into a gray screen paint site explaining how superior their technology was. Huh. I guess it does come with the Harry Potter wand. Who knows? Got a kazam! Where's that freaking whatchamacallit? Let's see. Here we go. So let's show you. And we're in eco mode, by the way. So we have a white screen up here. That's what we'll be reading. So as you can see, a white screen is absolutely useless in my environment. It doesn't work. It doesn't read. It's not going to happen. I got to do a presentation. I got people coming in. I'm trying to sell them a projector. I don't know how this is going to work. I'm just not reading at all, period. It's not picking up. I'm just showing some underwater oceans, that's all. See if the gray screen does any better. Gray screen doesn't work either. See those gray parts that keep popping up where the contrast is supposed to be? This is not going to work for me at all, period. Mind you, we're getting 10 times more light to the screen because it's in a portrait mode. So no, it doesn't work. Now, my YouTube channel is all black because I like to have mine in black. I prefer it in black. And if you notice, the menu is completely useless if I'm using a gray or white screen, so I don't have a problem with that. My website's all black. Definitely going to be a problem for me at the end of the day. I can't work on my website. So that's not going to work. Let's see. That's my website right there. As you can see, completely useless on a gray screen. How would I read it? Yeah, no problem. Our screens can generate white light. That's what it's designed to do. So if I'm scrolling through my screen, I'm in my office, I need those white levels to read, which are on our black technology. I need to be in a fully lit environment because I work in a well-lit environment. I'm in an office, you know, I'm going to be in a well-lit environment regardless. And if that gray screen can't give my contrast, because my screen reads in black, we're going to have issues there. I do not want my screen coming up this color at all. So again, the reason why I say this is because we do these demonstrations, we show you these projectors, and then we have people come behind us and go, oh, wait a minute, we could do that. No, you can't do the same thing. Your projector does not read on a gray screen. You can't pick up contrast. Like literally, seriously, it's embarrassing. You can buy the same projector I have. That's not a problem. You can. But the problem you have at the end of the day is you can't be in this environment. Your stuff won't function. Can't pull a contrast level, that's not going to happen, and your color balance is thrown off because the light in the environment washes out your screen, which we showed you in the detailed demonstration. Oh, white screen decided to leave the premises, which is funny because that one lets you say, nope. Come on, guys, you gotta step there. So it doesn't work. So I can show you. And they could say, hey, but I could do it for cheaper. I can do it at $60 a quart. I can do it at $80 a quart. And I can do it with that projector and do it for cheaper. Well, what problem do you have at the end of the day? Again, doesn't make a difference. You can't read contrast. You can't operate in a fully lit environment. And you don't pick up color balance. Got to be in the dark. We're in an office. Can't be in the dark in here. Most of the places I have to be at on site that requires me to be in very well and high intense environments. Can't be dimming lights in there. Well, that does not want to stay there, does it? Oh, it's just a big piece of sticky. So it doesn't work. They can tell you that they'll save you more money, but in the long run, it's going to cost you a lot more money to fix the problem. And it's going to be a lot more inconvenient because, again, you got to be in the dark. And in the dark, either way, this stuff doesn't work. I got a big piece for you now. Got a big old piece for you. Stay up there. Sheesh. I don't want to stay up there for Jack. Man, it's like they don't want to be on my screen. So this doesn't work. I got to be online. I got to do business. This is definitely annoying the daylights out of me. And as for gaming, no. It's not going to work because, again, if I'm playing retro games, a guy came in my room and said, oh, you got to have some up-to-date games. technically, I can't even run the old school games on a gray screen, because if you play any old school games, they use a lot of black in old school games, especially with Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Defender, Centipede. Those games have a lot of black backgrounds to them, and they don't read correctly on gray screens. So the old generation games don't read, and the new ones don't read. It doesn't make a difference if whatever games I choose, it could be older games or newer games. That has nothing to do with it. Basically, all games require contrast. So for the person who came in and made the statement, you kind of embarrass yourself. And the reason why is because, again, it doesn't make a difference if the game is up to date or not. They read contrast. You get Call of Duty, the latest one, and you're doing a night mission. How does this work for you? How are you reading a 100% black level in the night mission of any game you play? All right, then it has nothing to do with newer games. That's just an insult you felt to cast, because you thought that in the day that I should have newer games. No, I can't run anything off that gray application. Not a thing. Not even Pac-Man. So again, that's why I get blocked. Again, I don't entertain nonsense. But let's move on. Can't use it on my website, right? And the white screen is absolutely useless. Now, most people come in here and are checking out our screens. They don't care about the gray screen. They don't. White screen is all they're going to have. Majority, most of the establishments you're going to walk into are going to be white screens, every single one of them. If you're selling gray screen paint, you're going to have to show that white screen why your product is the best choice. And guess where you're going to have to be at? You're going to have to be in the same environment where that white screen is sitting at. And chances are you're going to be in a highly well-lit commercial environment. That's where you're going to be at, because that's where we're at right now. All right, let's go back over to YouTube. Got a lot of portrait demonstrations on here. I was in here checking out. This is another one they have on here too. I'm gonna check this one out too. Hit this with a. I got the loop on already. Cool. Now to say that we get this when we come in here, is technology watchable? Can I see it? What if I'm in a fully lit environment? You know, I got some people that are educated in black technology. They'll say, well, I've heard black screens require to be in darker environments because they have a hard time pulling white light due to the screens being darker. We don't have that issue. They come in, they can watch it and see it themselves. Now we got the portrait set up because I got some people coming in to check out the portrait setup. They got some doorways on the design, some mapping, projector mapping with our quasar technology and quantum. They're interested in both of those, and they want to do these doorways that you can actually see their individual doorways lighten up. So they're doing something crazy with it. They're going to use projector mapping capabilities with it. That's me doing this with a chair, Einstein. He's like, where's that noise coming from? So that's what they want to do. So that's why we have the whole setup. But I thought while I was in here, I basically talk about portrait, because we do a lot of portraits on our projection screen setup. We did it on micro mesh to show you how to do your own for projector mapping, holograms and stuff like that. And then come Halloween, these things are fun to play around with. You build your own portrait setup, and then you can ghost haunt whatever you want at the end of the day. It's pretty cool to do for your garage and stuff like that. That's why I said when you come on my channel, we try to do something different. Every time you come on, we try to teach you something different. Not the same old nonsense that everybody else is doing at the end of the day. We try to do something different. And when we do these demonstrations, you'll notice they'll always be in really intense, fully lit environments, because this is extremely important for you to see. Because again, if you do watch a lot of demonstrations where people are in the dark, what's going to happen when you get that home or in your business and you go to turn on your lights? They didn't show you that part, did they? But you'll find out at the end of the day, and you're going to be highly upset by it, because you're going to do the work, you're going to paint this thing down to your surface, you're going to pay for somebody to come in and watch this joke and make sure you don't do anything weird on camera. So, again, as I said before, you know, you're going to go through all that to find out it's just not going to work at all, period. And then if you're doing with somebody at the end of the day who has a really, really jacked up return policy on it, you're going to have to deal with the simple fact that if it's not tested, and that's why I said do your research first, there's no batch numbers coming with that at all. They can't give you a batch number on something they never test. They don't know what the batch number is going to do, so they can't give you that. And they can't have you return the item, because what are they going to do? Send you back something that's not tested again? So again, heck, that's what it's going to become. So that's why you don't see them do these type of demonstrations. The portrait setup is a setup that screen's going to have a difficult time because you're going to be... That really does not want to be up there. Seriously, the gray screen says nope. I bet you if I made you out of a thin sheet of paper, you would still figure a way how to fall off. How? Sheesh. Doesn't want to stay up there for chat. Like, nope. Nope, I'm out of here. You see the size of the sticky I stuck on there? I gotta build me a Velcro screen. That thing falls off a Velcro screen. We know something's weird. So that is up there. The interesting thing about it is it'll stay up there and then keep falling off. And then the time when the video is over, I got a hard time getting it off the screen. You figure that one out. I like this one right here. I think I'm gonna do this setting right here. Because they want to do doorways. Doorways of life, which is a pretty cool idea at the end of the day. So I don't know what they're planning about. I plan to be down there to check it out and get some videos of it. And they're going to be using our technology here to do it. Let me see. I'm going to come out of this. And like I say, YouTube's menu that they have only comes up in two. It comes in midnight and it comes in white. So it just doesn't work on the gray screen. The menu just doesn't read correctly. Now I got people that argue with me on that. Get mad with me. This is how your regular screen will pop up when you're doing portrait. The only way that you'll be able to do portrait all the time is that you have one of those high-end projectors to do it. Or you can find that projector that has the what do you call it? The portrait mode. It's a portrait mode. We have to go to PC to do portrait. So not everything's going to do portrait. On this projector, everything does portrait. It converts it automatically. But this is just an easier way to do it. If you want to do something, you want to do a really cool setup, maybe a little portrait setup for display or some kind of abstract art or whatever, this is the best way to go because it's super cheap. And then again, like I said, with our technology, and the reason why we put the gray and white screen up there, because again, we still have these people at the end of the day that will come and go, oh, but you can do it for cheaper. They'll spend $60 or $80 on my product, and I'll do the same thing. Yeah, no you won't. You'll be still stuck in a dark environment, can't read a contrast level correctly, and keep in mind, in projector mapping applications, which he doesn't know much about, contrast is extremely important. I know I have the technology. It's very important. You have to have it. Because if I'm projecting, say I got a dome, and I got to project a star field, you can't do that with a projector, because the projector is going to give you a square image that's going into a circle image. That's not going to work. So you got to map those in, because they're circle. So when you map it in, you're going to have to read 100% contrast to pull the star field off, and it doesn't work because mapping technology can't read on a gray screen. They don't pick up. So how are you going to get a screen to read a black level when it can't? Unless you're going to try to introduce a more expensive projector to the merchant, I mean not the merchant, to the buyer, telling that he or she's going to have to spend more money for a much inkier projector to fix the problem, then that's not saving me any money, that's costing me money. Well, we can show them how to do it for $300. And that includes the projector and the paint. Now, we don't sell the projectors, just to let you know. We show you how to go to eBay to pick them up and where to buy them at. Like I said, I buy projectors on eBay all the time. So, you know, I've got a track record for buying on eBay. They skip these all the time. The star field, they stay as far away from the star field as possible. But you're still going to have to accept it. Just like I can't do star fields all the time and skip all white levels. That'd be wrong. You know? What would that sound like? I'm just skipping white levels while we're just showing constant contrast all the time. I mean, something's wrong there. If you're watching demonstrations where they're constantly showing contrast constantly all the time, that means the white levels are extremely poor. And if the reds are coming out super, super dark, like too dark, because they're supposed to be a little bright, it means that there's no white levels on the screen. I've seen that in a few demonstrations. Actually, mind you, for a person who I don't want to mention on our video because I'm trying to keep my videos clean, but for a person who's sitting in a high-rise right now, I would know that. I'm an expert in black technology because I was developing it far before you ever existed on a YouTube channel. And I mean, literally. So I would be an expert in that field. How you become an expert, it comes down through time and knowledge. And since I've been here longer than you have, and I have more video demonstrations, more customers, and so forth, that means I would be an expert in the field. You're not. And I can tell by looking at your video that your white levels are extremely poor, almost to the liking of everyday black paint generates like that. So you got black paint, that's it. I can see it in your screen. And the white levels are very, very, very dark. Especially when the light hits it from that window, they darken. And I've seen it a couple of times. And that tells me that you can't generate white light. You're not ambient light rejection technology. And your paint is majority black and white paint. It can't be too much white in it, because if there's too much white in it, it converts it to gray. But I guarantee it's a couple of teaspoons of black paint he has in there, a couple of white paint, enough white paint in there to keep it black, but that's what it is. That's all it is. You can tell by looking at it. I've been in the field for a long time. Like, off topic, if I were to go to court on who knows more in the field, who do you think would win that case? It would be me. All right then, I'll say move on. All right, as you can see, contrast level won't read at all, period. So again, what point is it for me going out and spending money for this projector and buying a gray screen or a white screen to do a portrait if I can't read a star fill? And star fills are crazy in portrait mode, because it kind of gives you like that endless portal kind of look to it. So again, we're going to be doing a dome, and I got a dome I'm picking up too. Actually, I'm going to be spraying the inside of a dome pretty soon, because somebody will ask me what side the inside of a dome looks like. Can't get that to work in a dome. I got a projector map that thing anyway. Let's go over here and let's grab outer space portrait. So there we in portrait, outer space. Gray screen, not working. White screen, not even functioning. How do you get this to work in my environment? And this is the reason why I got to come to these companies at the end of the day to sell these products. And I ask you that most important question. How do we get your product to function in my environment? Keep in mind, I'm not darkening my environment. I might add more light to it. So can you function? Can you handle that? I'm not spending the money for an expensive projector with inky contrast. Why the heck would I spend $3 grand out of my pocket for a projector, or $4 or $5 grand, when I can get it for 50 bucks? You know, the whole object in business is to basically save money, make money, save money, not basically spend money, lose money. So again, how are you going to help me out in that situation? You can't. So if you can't, what good is your product? Not going to work. Now, for the customers at the end of the day, we can go to them and say, hey, look, people we do business with, yeah, we can show you how to do that setup for $300. Chances are they don't go near the 187. They go near the big boys, the gallons. They go spend the $400 or $500 for the gallons. Now, why they spend $400 or $500 for the gallons? Because they can do this on a projector that costs 50 bucks. That's why. They do it on a gray screen. You know what happens? On a gray screen, on our screen, they'll spend $500 for one of our gallons. And then they'll turn around and buy that projector for 50 bucks, 60 bucks, 70. That's it. That's all it's going to cost them. They'll go out and buy a gray screen, and they'll go out to buy a projector that costs $3 grand. They'll pull inky enough contrast and try to do that, which they can't do. They'll find themselves back into the dark again. On after they spent $3,000 for a projector. So I think that sounds more money to me. $500, which a gallon's not 500, but $500 a gallon, and $60 projector. That's $560. Or $60 for a quart of paint and $3,000 for a projector, which you still can't use because the contrast can't read it at all. Period. Especially in your fully lit environment. And keep in mind, while you're sitting there in the dark, someone can wash you out with a flashlight off a cell phone. So how much money did you gain in that as a businessman? How much money did you save? Our technology, using the fully lit environment, different types of projectors, take it outside, fully weatherproof, ultra sure throw compatible, reads a 100% Infinity 2 legendary contrast level, as you can see right now. It can generate in any kind of environment we stick it in with no problem whatsoever. Has an incredible white level that can blend into gray screens extremely easy. And on top of that, its color balance is absolutely immaculate. No calibrating required, ever. Other one, you'll spend about $3,060, because you're going to have to turn around and spend $3,000 for a projector or more to get your inky contrast level. You will be calibrating, by the way. You can't be in fully lit environments, even if you have ultra short though, because your screen will wash out. You're not reading the contrast level, your color balance are completely off, and you're not taking that thing outside. That's just not going to happen. Oh, and more importantly, projector mapping applications will not function on a gray screen. So you paid more money and you got less. Where our people at the end of the day spend less money and get more. The movie studio who bought the product from us had a silver screen and it wouldn't function. They can't get the black level support. And they bought an inky projector. They did a gray screen. They still couldn't get it to work. They bought our black technology picked up. So you're in a movie studio right now. So you're in a movie studio. This is the screen you have in here. This is your screen. This is your screen you have in here for your studio. How are you going to get a star field to pull up in that environment? How much money is a projector going to cost you at the end of the day to try to get it right? How much money are you going to have to spend at the end of the day to try to get your contrast levels to work? Yep, there you go. There's your magic question right there. So we can't get it to run, and that's why they contact us. Now, everybody said in the day, we're experts in ambient rejection technology. Like the guy sat there and made a statement saying that, oh, ceiling light, it comes from the light from the ceiling. Well, my screen's huge. It actually meets the ceiling. And I've actually done demonstrations actually on ceilings. Not only that, I've done demonstrations outside on massive levels, which means the ceiling light that's out there, which is none, which is actually natural light, is actually much more powerful than what you have inside your home. And I've also done demonstrations of screens taking on direct sunlight. So when people mention, is your stuff ambient light rejection, we show them demonstrations outside. Because nothing more hard-hitting than demonstrations outside. So no, this is not going to work with a gray and white screen. Because we get it all the time. They'll pop up and go, but you can save, you're going to save any money. It'll cost you more money. If you spent $3,000 or $3,300 for your machine and I spent $50 for mine, who saved more money? I want to see what else they got on here for poetry. I like this one. I want to see if they got another one in here for outer space. Now, the screen's going to take on a lot more. Oh, by the way, we're in whisper mode. So we're in, ooh, what are you? We looped. This doesn't work on a gray and white screen. So when they come in, look at the screen, we show them this display. Because gray screen does come up every once in a while. It does pop up. But, there you go. Doesn't read. White screen doesn't read at all, period. But the reason why I mentioned the gray screen, because some people think the gray screen is an upgrade. Yeah, you keep thinking that's an upgrade. It was an upgrade. It was an upgrade 11 years ago. It was an upgrade. It's not an upgrade anymore. It's a downgrade. You're still stuck in the same situation. You got black and you got darker screens now. So you're not upgrading anything. Just primed your surface for something else. Vertical demonstrations. I got sound in this. I gotta hook up my sound. Alright, let me bring this projector down. Bring my sound in. Do a little lava light. Again, won't work. Only works on our technology. Well, let me see. I gotta repair you today. So, again, like I said, I put that in there because people lie to you and tell you that it'll work on, they'll do the same thing. Yeah, you can do the same thing. Any screen can do the same thing I just did. It's the quality of what you're going to get out of that. That's the problem you're going to have. All right, you go here. That's the problem you want to go with. It's going to be your quality. You can put that on any screen you want. As you can see, I got it on a gray screen, I got it on a white screen. You can put it on any screen you want. You spend $60 for the projector. But as you can see, without our technology, it does not work. You can't read. There we go. What kind of music is that? That's kind of jacked up. So anyone can do a gray screen or a white screen or whatever. You can use the same motorized projection screens we do, same fixed screen screens, the 230 watt, all that. You can use the same thing. But the problem is the quality. You still can't read the contrast. Whatever you paint that thing to, you won't be able to read your contrast levels. It doesn't make a difference. Like when we showed you with the when we get the P2 in here and set it up, we're going to show you at the end of the day that a gray screen absolutely won't read jack off that machine. Especially in a fully lit environment. It ain't reading it. That 2 million to 1 is a waste of time for anyone running it on a gray screen. And our screen, we don't even need a 2 million to 1. We turn those off because what do we need that for? Our screen is black. I'm trying to push that thing through a window. We don't need all that. That's the whole purpose. What are we got in here? At the same time, can't turn on technology unwatchable, virtually impossible. And that's one of the things I like when they come in here. They see the demonstration, see our screen blending into grays or white screens, can turn their screens unwatchable. And look how high my screen is sitting next to those high fluorescent lights in my ceiling. I think I'm working on portrait today. See the multiple options. Every time you come on here, we're changing the screen out. It's doing something different. Because we could do that. We could change out the environment any way we want, any style of projector. We're not basically typecast to the same dark environment every single day to try to get a screen to work. And again, I have to ask, what the frig are you doing in the dark with an ultra short throw? Yeah, I ask that question all the time. Why are you in the dark with an ultra short throw? You see how far my screen sits back? This is where my projector's sitting at, way back here. How in the world are you sitting in the dark with a screen that literally sits right up on top of the projection screen? You had no distance throw. You're a foot away at 3,000. And you still can't read. That's a huge major red flag I see in demonstrations. That close to the screen. I'm taking this projector and putting it out of equal mode, just shove it right up against the screen at a foot. Which I'm going to show you that by the way. We're going to turn the projector around, take it out of eco mode, hit the side of that screen over here, and I bet you that gray screen won't read it. Matter of fact, it'll watch out even faster because now we got 4,000 lumens hit the strike on the screen. Our screen's going to absorb it. Oh, nice little scenery. Oh, doing something else. There we go. So customers are interested in doing this setup under our technology and our quality of our products. At the end of the day, as you can see, you can operate in a commercial environment. If you can operate in a commercial environment, you can operate anywhere you want. The thing about it, when you're watching demonstrations from the home setup, and when we did our home setup, that's why we had all that additional lighting in there, because we wanted something different from the average home setup. But from our demonstrations we have now, the difference between us and them is we're in commercial. Yeah, far more light than they do at the end of the day. And that little bit of lighting splashed in little corners here and there, yeah. It's different when you're using a vertical. Vertical screens are different. Vertical screens push up. That means you're very, very close to the ceiling. Or if you're using landscape screens, those screens usually are going to be tucked a little farther down, and especially a lot of these screens, I see them tucked on their lips and tucked into walls and stuff like that to give it the illusion that the area is well lit and the screen's actually being protected from all the light in the environment. You can't escape the light in here, it's virtually impossible. You see equivalents like being underneath of a flying saucer. Somehow that cracked me up with that whole ambient light. He never explained it. I sent him the video, I asked him to explain it. The one we showed where the screen was absorbing the sunlight. I said, can you explain this to me? And he didn't get back with me. See, you come on my channel. At the end of the day, you don't do research on me. And you talk some nonsense about ambient light rejection. And I'll show you a demonstration of a screen absorbing sunlight. And you explain it to me now. Put you on blast. Explain. Tell me. Give you 4 days. I'll mark it right there. You got 4 days. Explain this to me, how we did this. No one comments back. Stop writing checks. We like to cash those. Keep it in your pocket. Keep it in your pocket where it belongs. Don't bring it out. Don't write it. Don't hand it to me because I will cash it for you. I will embarrass you on YouTube. So it's another thing. If you're going to ask me a question, I can understand that. But if you're going to be rude and nasty in the comments and try to belittle me like I don't know what I'm talking about, I will embarrass the living daylights out of you. I will send something, a link to you. And when you open that link, you go, oh, shoot. There you go. Now explain that to me. How we do that? Since you said that light comes from over the ceiling, that's real ambient light rejection. Well, real ambient light rejection technology is what can absorb from the sun. Because the sun is the most dangerous thing for a screen. That's real ambient light projection technology. Forget all this inside lighting here. Let's talk about outside. Outside is one of the most difficult places to do any type of demonstration. You got nothing protecting your screen. You got no doors, you got no windows, you got no ceiling, you're out in the open. There's light attacking your screen in every single direction. So explain that to me. You could be out on a cloudy day, and I watch screens wash out on cloudy days. But you still got more light outside than you have physically inside with the lights on in a cloudy day. I've done demonstrations in the snow. You know how much light ricochets in the snow? It is freaking unbelievable. That's why when you walk outside, you got to wear glasses because it's too bright outside. We do demonstrations out in the snow. So I sent them that demonstration in sunlight. I said, explain this to me. No response back. Don't try to educate me on me. Try to explain to me at the end of the day how ambient light rejection works. Okay, explain that to me. No comment back. Somebody lit a fire in your bonnet, right? There you go. Mind your business. I don't have no problem with people asking me questions as long as you're polite about it. If you're going to be nasty about it, think you know more than I know at the end of the day, then I have to embarrass you. I'll shoot a video away. I've got 12,000 videos in my arsenal, probably climbing higher than that. And I can show you demonstrations on levels you've never even seen before. I had somebody talk about angle gain. Angle gain, I showed them a demonstration with the Casio laser projector, 2600 lumens, eco mode at 11 feet high, mounted to the side of my deck while my screen laid flat. It was to show off the angle gain capabilities of our technology. Can't get any more angle gain than that than outside. Whoops, that didn't want to be there. All right, let's get that off there, because we're done with that. Oh, wait, let me show something real quick. Look at that. have to get that part. Because I don't want to be there. I don't want to show off more of my portrait screen. Get these off my screen. All right, I like these when they show these right here, the jungle scenes. Let's go over here real quick. What is going on back here? Oh, that's going on back here. Let's go to 4K snow screensavers. I love showing these off. You have no idea. That's why I said I don't understand why gray screens don't show off those contrast levels. Stick it in a fully lit environment. Let's see those contrast levels. We show off white levels all the time. I swear, if I had a quarter for every time I showed off white levels compared to gray screen showing off black levels, I'd be super rich. Y'all guys don't like to do those demonstrations. Y'all avoid them at all costs. And I listen to key words that y'all say in your demonstrations, because the minute y'all say, y'all will go over a video. They'll study the video. They'll go over and over and over again to know when those black levels are going to kick in. And then they'll say, let's see what it looks like with the lights out. Yeah, every time. Every single time. I know all y'all little tricks. Let's go pop over here. Yeah, you're not turning a quantum. You know how powerful quantum technology is? Quantum technology was one of the screens we had sitting in a Halo system at 6,000K. Yeah, please. You would never ever turn one of those screens unwatchable. Anybody wouldn't. Now, keep in mind, we got to add this in there because we are taking people to court. There are people being sued over this screen because they did some false demonstrations. And keep in mind, some of these lawsuits, because they're repeat offenders of basic attack on their company, is carrying a 30-year prison sentence if they're found guilty. And I think finding them guilty won't be a problem. So, yeah, we got some people getting sued. Let me see. Let me come out of here for a minute. I'm going to check out that other one. I put that in there because we got a few people getting sued. Good luck in court, because this is going to go bad. Can you imagine this being a courtroom right now? We're in a courtroom, and this happens to them in a courtroom. Do you have any idea how much money they're being sued? It's a lot of money. It's a lot. It's nowhere near, and I just say it's nowhere near 900,000. It's $1 million. It's up there. It's up there, up there. It's a lot of money, because there are a lot of people that were doing it, and they're going to use them as an example that for anybody else who wants to go down that road, they're going to use it on them as an example. It's like when somebody says, I'm going to slap you so hard, your kid's going to feel it. It's like one of those. You're getting sued for millions of dollars. It's a lot of money. So keep in mind, if we've talked about you in videos before, this is what's going to happen in a courtroom. So imagine we're in a courtroom right now, and I do this. Not going to go well. But, you know, that's your problem right now, not mine. I got things to do. I got to show people off the screen. This is one of the demonstrations I have to do in here. I have to show off my technology. I tell you, it does not like my screen. Like, how big of a sticky I have to put up there on it? Like, seriously. Like, it really doesn't want to stay up there. Okay. Like it knows. It doesn't want to be there. Can you believe? And I'll tell you something. When you go into a courtroom, something like this will send you away for some time and get you sued. That fast, something that simple can change and alter your entire life forever. Evidence. Outstanding evidence. Yeah, extremely bad. They get an attorney. I would suggest have your attorney reach out to me because I want to send them some paint. I've seen people in court put their heads down. They know they're in trouble already. They know they messed up. But to just see it out there, everybody else sees it, they can put their heads down. See that right there? Now imagine we're in a courtroom. So what they usually do is the attorney asks us to approach the bench because what they're trying to do is they're trying to get leniency. They're trying to see if there's any way we can work out a deal. You know, they try to explain that my maybe has some problems or whatever. There's a lot of stuff that goes on because they don't want it to be on record. They're just talking between the judge you know, keeping it off record. Can we work this out? Is it something we can work out? And you know what we're going to say? No. We want maximum jail time. I want maximum lawsuits because this guy's been doing this nonsense over and over again. He's brought other people that were doing the nonsense, and we need him thrown in jail. That fast. We also have a policy on our website. If you violate one of these, it's $1 million policy. My stuff's tested. You got to be stupid. You would have to be insane to do a demonstration like that, knowing if we find you, that you're going to face a courtroom, and this is what's going to happen in the courtroom. And if you make a statement like, oh, he's using special abilities, you're going to get yourself another lawsuit. Your lawyer's going to tell you to shut it up. Because if we get wind of that and we hear that, we're going to go, Your Honor, we've also had problems with that too. What he's saying, he's making false accusations online that we're using special equipment. And then they'll set up another court date for that. And then you'll get more trouble. That's why I'm always going to tell you to shut it up. If you don't have any proof or any way to prove what you said in courtroom, you can get yourself in even more trouble. So, those who did demonstrations on this product, making those statements, and we got customers chiming in now to show off the product, just remember, that right there is going to cost you over $1 million, and it could possibly give you 30 years in prison. Just like that. I'm going to have you do the demonstration. I want you to do it. I'm not going to do it. You're going to do it. You're going to paint my screen in. That's what you're going to do on camera. You're going to set the projector. You're going to do the whole thing. And you're going to basically put that gray screen up there, and you're going to do that demonstration for everybody to see in that courtroom. Now, get back to work because I got things to do. And I got people coming in to see this screen. We're going to get some more white levels on this. I'm not done with this yet. I'm going to show some more stuff. That's the reason why I do all this testing at the end of the day. Hey, you want to take a mockery of God's blessing at the end of the day? What do you think the outcome's going to be? You think it's going to bless your hand for making a mockery of a blessing he gave to his Christian? No, there's consequences behind that stuff. There you go. I got to file on the 28th for federal court again for somebody. Let me see. All right, let's go back over here. I want to get this, whatchamacallit. Oh, I'm going to do a circle screen with a snow cone. That's one thing I love about showing this technology, that white levels. I love to show off my white levels so freaking much. And that's what I said, that when I look at gray screens, how come you're not in fully lit environment showing off contrast levels all the time? If I'm buying your product, and I'm going to ask questions, what's the difference between your product and another gray paint? What's the difference between me going to Home Depot and buying the same thing? Is there any difference in that? I mean, come on, can you show me that? Is your stuff tested? Do I have some type of guarantee to how can I return this? We have a ship back policy, SHIP, ship back policy, because people get that mixed up sometimes. And the ship back policy, you can ship it back to us and we'll test it on YouTube Live. Because we got nothing to hide, because we can back it up. Anybody else got that one? No. You know why? Because you didn't test your stuff. If you didn't test your stuff, that means at the end of the day, you can't do a ship back policy. That's virtually impossible. I got to do this one. This is fun. The black paint. And again, I can't express this enough. The black paint. We do black paint against our stuff all the time. Every demonstration. You know why? We like it. It's fun. But at the end of the day, they won't do a gray versus gray. How many times have you ever seen a gray screen pop up? They go, here's another gray screen, a gray house paint. I'm going to put it right next to my screen. Sure, it doesn't. Yeah, right. Whatever. Never get that. That's black paint against our technology. This is not going to go well. If you got one of these lawsuits, and we mentioned you in these videos, where the lawsuit was suing you for this mess, just let you know, courtrooms have this kind of lighting in them. We can function any way we want anyway. Doesn't really make a difference, but yeah. Now you see me put that black paint up there against our product to show the difference. This is what you should be seeing with gray screens. You should be seeing it side by side with gray paint. If they're not showing you these demonstrations in every single demonstration, there is something really wrong there. This means there's a high chance that you have just bought an expensive can of everyday house paint. Gotta see that. Then we got gray screen versus our gray screen. Gray screen versus our black technology. We got black paint up there to show the difference. We got a white surface up there. And you got to see all this in a very highly lit environment like ours we have right now. Because if it's in the dark, you know, you can trick people with a gray screen in the dark. Or white. Well, no, not really. White screens don't pick up projectors. Usually don't. White screen. Really? How do we get a commercial behind a freaking demonstration? White screen. There we go. Yep. Portrait. Basics. Red screen. Now, the fellow in the apartment screaming at the ceiling. This is how your reds are coming up. See that black paint? Your reds are literally reading that way. On a standalone, your colors are coming up that dark. That's how we know your product is nothing but black and white paint. More black paint, less white paint, more black paint. And it's probably, if you get our hands on those containers, I guarantee there's a little glitter in there too. They usually drop glitter in it too. I don't know why, but they put the glitter in it. But anyway, maybe it's help to reflect light, or I don't know what they're trying to do. But anyway, yeah. Now, as you can see, the gray screen ain't reading red at all, period. There's the gray screen right there. As I told you before, the more light we got introduced to the environment, the gray screen's not going to work. So that's why I said that, you know, we do a portrait setup, whether it be portrait, whether it be 16:9, 16:10, 235.1, 239.1. It really doesn't make a difference. Or what caliber projector we use, it's just not going to read it. They don't pick up. So again, I'm in my office. How are we going to fix this problem? If I'm calling you and I buy your product, I'm like, hey, look, this is what I'm getting. I'm not picking up red off my screen. If you suggest me to calibrate, you didn't turn me off. So I got to calibrate a machine that has, what, 1.7 billion colors, 2 billion colors, 3 billion colors. I'm calibrating that? Oh, heck no. I'm not going through that. I get software. Probably got to pay somebody to come. That's more money I got to pay at the end of the day. I already paid for this already. I don't want to pay any more money at the end of the day. More money. What else are you going to suggest to me? Darken my environment? I can't do that. I'm in a commercial environment. How are we doing this? Got to read documents in here. How does that even work? No, that's not going to work. So how do we fix it? Can't. So I'm going to need my money back because you can't fix it. Or partially half of my money because the other half is sitting on a wall and I can't return that to you, but it doesn't work, to tell you the truth. So we got to fix it somehow. We're going to have to end up in court. Because right now, I got to bring somebody in to repaint over my walls because this stuff doesn't work, and it ticks me off every time I look at it. So now I'm going to sue you for, what do you call it? It's a word for anger, something, anguish or whatever, something, pain and suffering. Yeah, they'll sue you for that. They'll add that in there. You stressed them out over a screen. So then, how are we fixing this? Because sooner or later, I've got your address already because you shipped it to me that you sent me a fake address, and I'm going to turn around and sue you. How are we fixing this? So on my giant screen in my office, I want to know how you're going to fix this mess. Do you have a batch number? I'm going to go question you. Is any of your stuff tested? Do you have any test demonstrations? I need to look over your stuff, your tests. You got no tests on your stuff. I'm going to look, there's nothing there. And in his policy, if you open it up, you're stuck with it. If it lands on your property, you're stuck with it. How are you going to know what's going to go wrong with it is there's no test there showing how the product works and how it fails and what not to do and what to do and whatever. There's nothing there. And it fails, then what do you do from there? How do we fix that problem? You don't have any tests. You can't even troubleshoot your own product because you never tested it. So how do we fix the problem? You know how we fix the problem? We'll go to court. That's how they fix the problem. We get a lawyer. They basically send you out a letter telling you you're being sued. And that's how they fix the problem. So what you're going to do is you're going to have you pay for the painter he had come in. He's going to show his receipts. If he had to have a painter come in and paint over the screen, you'll pay for that. He's going to get his money back, and he's going to sue you for mental stress. And that's going to cost you even more money than the rest of it. He's going to sue you for a good maybe 50, 60 grand. Because your stuff's not tested. Now for us at the end of the day, someone brings that nonsense to my door at the end of the day, I can say, well, my stuff's tested. There's test demonstrations on all my products before actually we even sold it. Not even that, we have a batch number on a product showing your product was perfectly tested, perfectly fine before we shipped it out. You do know when they go through a batch number verification, they go through my PayPal account and they see how many people basically file complaints against that container of paint. Now we got like a container of paint of 5 gallons. Say we sell about 5 gallons out of 5 gallons. Out of the 5 gallons, let's say one of them makes a complaint, but the other 4 don't. That means it's virtually impossible anything could have been wrong with his product due to the fact it came out of a 5-gallon container and 4 other people had it. Now let's say all 5 people made a complaint against it, right? If all 5 people made a complaint, which is extremely rare, if all 5 people made a complaint with it, they still have to beat the original test on the original batch number, which shows the product was working perfectly fine before it shipped out the door. That's why it's virtually impossible to get around and beat batch numbers. Impossible. So, how would that be possible? Now, from the person who bought the paint from us, we had made a 5-gallon container. I had one of those gallons, which is sitting on my wall right now. It's sitting right up here. So, how in the world could you obtain that product and said it worked that dark to begin with if I have it sitting on my wall right here? And I got a person from a movie studio in a church who contacted us about the product and they loved it. So, again, if something was wrong with it, it would have been something wrong with their product too. And instead of you having one container, you would have had a couple containers from multiple customers saying that all their products went wrong. First things first, they wouldn't have contacted you, and I'll tell you why. They contact you, they lose money. Because we can show that they went to an individual at the end of the day, that we have problems with the courts and stuff like that. We have a track record on this individual. Lawsuits, documents, control numbers, all this stuff we have and showing you the potential problem to our company. So automatically we would forfeit anything from the door with that. Second, on top of that, batch number. Stuff's tested, we can back it up in court. So we're good. Heck, we even give people documents. We'll send a document to you saying, hey, look, back it up in court, let's go. And they don't reply back to us. So we can back us up 100%. But the problem what he had at the end of the day is that he can't back it up, and that's why he had the policy designed that you can't return the item to him. You can't get anything from him at all, period. So this is where I question other people who sell these products at the end of the day. How can you ensure me that that product is going to work in my environment? Because if you're advising me to darken environments, buy high-end projectors, this is costing me more money and it's inconveniencing me in the process. But only the more important part of it is I'm turning my environment into your environment. Because that's the only place it seems to work at. And if I got a church, how you doing, buddy? The last thing I want to hear is, it'll look better once we calibrate it. Projectors were already calibrated. They were calibrated the day they bought the white screens in. I guarantee you, the company that came in and sold in that projector, they calibrated. I guarantee you. I guarantee you they calibrated. I guarantee you. Because I know people who do professional installments, and anytime they bring in a setup with a projector, the whole 9 yards setup and screen, they calibrate. Hey, you, get away from there. I don't want to hear. Don't talk back to me. How dare you? How dare you? Back at you too. Wow. Little feisty. Feisty. Hey, question mark tail. What's up? Anything could that just a question mark. Come here. You're so feisty, damn. For feisty. I'm extra feisty, man. Feisty. You're extra feisty. Did you get your treats? Let's forget when we come in. Probably get it twice, I don't know. But anyway, yeah. You're going to get liable for a lawsuit. So yeah, you got to make sure your stuff is tested. So like I said, I being a customer, I'm coming out to buy your stuff at the end of the day. Can you guarantee I'm going to work in here? I don't want to hear buy an expensive projector. I already have a projector. I'm happy with it. I don't want to buy another one. I don't want to be forced to buy another one. Let's go pop over to a blue screen. I keep getting these cursors mixed up. Let me see. Blue screen. Some of these people who design these policies don't even have an act of God on it. You know what an act of God? You don't even know what an act of God is. That's pretty bad if you don't have that on there. You're liable for all types of bad weather now, because you don't have an act of God on your policy. And I've read that to some people's policies, like, gee whiz, they don't know what they're doing with these things, man. You don't know how to design a basic shipping policy. What about freight? That's a lot of stuff he was missing off his. If you look at his, well, I still have it on the blacklist. The shipping policy he has on there. It's just strictly if it lands on your property, you're stuck with it. If you open it up, you're stuck with it. Basic scammy shipping nonsense at the end of the day. You don't have a freight on there, like you ship by freight. You don't have a permission slip policy. Permission slip policy means that if a customer basically wants to change the address at the last minute, and you gotta be careful sometimes. Sometimes the customer is legit and they move at the last minute. If they get, oh shoot, I ordered paint, it's not gonna make it there. Is it possible that you can send it to this address? That's not a problem for us to do. But I need your permission in writing, giving us the permission to send it to that address, because PayPal will not honor that. PayPal will honor the original address and what it is. So say if the item goes to that address, then what happens if he says he never received it, even though it shows tracking number was delivered, it ain't going to happen, because the addresses are different. That's why. It has to go to the address that's on the account. So if you never change the address on the account and he sends out an order for your product and it goes to, comes back and says, hey, can you send it here? And you send it there. If the person says he never asked you to send it there and he doesn't know what, you're in a lot of trouble. You're definitely going to lose out some money. So we call it a permission slip. Well, I'll contact you and say, look, I need it in writing. You're telling me that I can send it there. So that way I can show PayPal and say, hey, look, I got permission. Because it saved me on a lot of money. I told you what happened in Madagascar. You learn in business. One thing you do, you learn in business. You learn. Madagascar, I almost lost $1,500 in Madagascar because the person was not a very nice person. We shipped them out a Sony VPL FA30, had a pallet of them, and I shipped them out one of the projectors for his church, and I shipped them out a large screen and a gallon of paint. Yeah, that happens. A gallon of paint out to him. And because where he was at in Madagascar, they don't ship to the addresses. They might now, but they weren't at that particular time. So we went to FedEx to ship it off because my ex had a massive discount at FedEx. They say that we have to send it to either Hub A or Hub B. That's what we'll send it to. And I'm like, okay, so I don't know which one is close to him. When you slow color change on this, that's what's going on. I don't know which one's close to him. So I gotta ask him, and that's what saved my neck. Because if I didn't ask him, and if I just made a guess right there at the shipping, I'd have been out $1,500. Even though I had a signature and confirm attached to it, and he signed for it, PayPal came back and said, hey, he made a claim, he never got it. We're showing delivery, he signed for it. But because the address wasn't on the address, we sent it to a hub instead of his address, he could get us on it. Good thing that I asked him and went back and asked him, what hub do you want it sent to, A or B? And I explained the situation, and he said, oh, send it to B. So I had it in writing, and I'm telling us where to redirect the package to, and that's what saved me $1,500. That's why we call it a permission slip. Permission slip policy. Also, too, we have on there on our site, basically, updating your information. There's a little site up there that might updating your information. If you're moving or whatever, if your cards are outdated, we're not responsible. If your packages go here or there, you have to update all shipping information. That's in there. I think you would want to do that if you're buying something online. You don't want to go back to the old address and giving somebody a Christmas gift that don't deserve it. So again, change it. We have another policy on the website for freight. Certain amount of paints, if it's gallons or 10 gallons, they have to go by freight. There's another policy we have on there, and this is a very important one you have to have. If a company comes in and say, hey, look, at the last minute, we need like 80 gallons, and you know it's going to take you a while to process 80 gallons, they got to give you 3 days in advance or 4 days in advance for you to get the materials together. Anything can happen. Something could be late, could be delayed, anything can happen. Another policy you have to have in there, delays. You're going to have delays. Packages may delay. We went through that with COVID. We still have our COVID-19 policy on there. Packages get delayed all the time. So the customers know that this can happen and that can happen. They have to have on in there. Packages can be delayed by 2 days, it can be 3 days. You have to have in there. What's your shipping and handling time? Sometimes your shipping and handling time might not be 7 days compared to what days may pop up. If it's on a Sunday, we know we ain't shipping out. It's on a Saturday, we usually don't ship out, but now we're going to be shipping out on Saturdays more. So you have to have all that information in there. It's very important because the customer needs to read through all this so they know exactly how your policy works and how you're going to benefit them when it comes to shipping. All that has to be in there. We even have videos in there showing you how packages are packaged, how they're sealed, how they're put together, the batch numbers are attached on, all that stuff. What batch number verifications mean, there's information on that. It's huge. Our shipping policy is massive. And one of the things you have to have is an act of God, which is very important. Say if you're shipping something over to another state and have a snowstorm kicks in and everything backs up and that package is sitting out there in limbo, you know, they're trying to get it from A to B. You're not responsible for that because you're not responsible for weather. That protects you at the end of the day. But we also too have something called a snail mail policy, which we started in COVID because packages sometimes took forever to get there. And say a customer had a project coming up, we wanted to make sure it reaches their project. We would basically go to another shipping carrier and get it shipped in overnight to make sure they got it. Now, if the other package got there, just keep both of them. But that's the snail mail policy we used in COVID. You have to have policies in there on your shipping carriers. What type of shipping carriers are you using? Because some people will come and say, hey, look, maybe you pay for standard shipping, which is fair to your budget. But some people will come and say, hey, I want overnight. And overnight will cost you more out of your profits at the end of the day. So it's best to say, hey, we only ship by United States Postal Service flat rate. If you want anything overnight, that'll cost you extra. You got to have all that stuff in there. Got to. Very important. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. But you got to have all that stuff in there. So you just can't have those few paragraphs that he had in there by landing on your property. No. Those particular policies are designed if you discover and find out that that product doesn't do what it's supposed to do, it basically makes sure you can keep the money. That's what they're for. Let me see. Slow color changer. So I had to learn all this stuff when I started building the website on, and basically for my customers. My customers taught me a lot of this stuff at the end of the day on how, a better way on how to serve my customers, on basically how to help them out. And we just put these policies in. Like I said, we went through that in COVID and people were just still waiting for packages to get there. And I said, you know, we'll put a snail mail policy. It's not going to cost me any extra money to send another one out. That's what we do. We send another one out. The other one gets there, you keep both of them. That one guy said, yeah, the other one got here and that one got here too. So what we do, send this one back? I said, no, just keep it. That's why we have a ship back policy. We're the only ones who have that policy. And in the ship back policy, that if you have tampered with it or messed with that product in any way whatsoever, and we say, hey, look, send it back to us. And what we're going to do is we're going to test it on YouTube Live so everybody can see it. Customer's name is never mentioned at all whatsoever, at all, period. When we shoot the video, we send it back to them. Now, what I do is I ask them, what did you find in our product that was satisfactory, whatever, at the end of the day? And they'll send us pictures over. We can tell from the door it's black paint. We can tell it. We do tons and tons of testing on black paint. We know this stuff from the door, and we look at it, what it is. Because black paint reacts differently on our technology. It comes up dark. As you're watching it right now, I'm having this conversation. So if I see an image that pops up like this, I know darn well that you use black paint. And you try to come off saying that's her stuff, so you can try to go to PayPal, file a complaint, and keep the money in our product at the same time. But it doesn't work that way. So I know the devil will tell you to do another thing, it's going to happen another way. And what usually happens is we request a ship back on the product. That means that those pictures you sent to us, we try to match them to those pictures. And when I do the demonstration live, so everybody can see it, we send it back. First thing I get is the stutter effect. Well, you know, maybe I did something so. There we go. Attitude completely changes. It does. It completely changes. When we request them to have the item shipped back, when we request to have the item shipped back, we usually sometimes get, well, I'm not going to send it back. Why should I send it back? And this, that, and the other. It'll be a whole freaking argument with them about why they don't want to send it back. What's the problem? Send it back to us. We're going to put it on YouTube live stream. We're going to put it against what you said it did. If you said it became undark and unwatchable, mind, you're going against a batch number that showed the product was tested before we shipped it to you. Just like right now, you see this paint sitting on this wall? This is the paint we shipped out. Those 4 gallons, those are the only people who had it first, before the customers had it. So the actual paint is sitting right directly on my wall, which you watched me paint in a video demonstration. Good luck with that one in court when we sue you. It's sitting right here. It's actually one of the most interesting batch numbers we did, because we actually took some of the paint and used it. So the demonstration you're seeing right now, that's what I can do when your product comes back. So when we request that item to come back here, and you deny us and tell us no, or beat around the bush, and we've requested 3 times before we go to PayPal. Request again and again and again, and you don't request. We document all that. We screenshot everything. When you go to PayPal, it says, look, we requested 3 times for the item we returned. PayPal will contact them and ask you, why did you not return the item when we requested? Because they can see the transcripts right there. What do you want to say to PayPal? There's no way out of that one. We requested the product back. So why didn't you send it back? Like we requested the guy over in Canada. We requested 3 times to him. Bring the item back. Because he tampered with it. That's why I couldn't bring it back. Because he knew when he got it here, we ran the test, it would have matched in the batch numbers. That's why he couldn't send it back. He lost his claim. Now, well, I don't see what the problem is that it was asking for the request back. So are we supposed to be scammers because we requested an item back to test on a YouTube live stream for everyone to see? No, that doesn't make you a scammer. A scammer is a person at the end of the day, if you know the difference between the two, a scammer is a person at the end of the day that doesn't want to show you certain things and want to keep things covered up, keep you in the dark, give you as less information as possible, and make it virtually impossible to send something back, which means they can run the possibility of losing what they took from you. So, if you deny that request. So what they'll do is deny the request, they'll lose the PayPal claim. PayPal has our batch number. PayPal will go through your website to make sure your website's legit and all that stuff. Our website is legit, it's verified. It's actually in good standing, it's verified. And then, after that, the person will get mad and either they'll contact him, which will get you in more trouble because we have criminal charges against him. And we're also, one of the charges we have against him is him committing fraud against our company by mixing black paint, making false accusations. Also, too, is involved in the criminal charges where customers, it's claimed in there, customers sent him items, and the names of the customers are listed in those criminal reports, that they deliberately sent him items knowing that he was going to commit these crimes. So we became a part of it now, that investigation, because now they got to dig into your stuff. But if you knew already from the door what type of person he was toward our company, why would you send it to him? There you go. Now you got yourself involved in it. Oh, I forgot. We left that part out. But anyway. And then the next step, what they'll go through is they'll go to the bank and they'll file a chargeback, which is a bigger problem for you because I will contact your bank. I told you, we contact banks. Reach out to your bank, contact your bank, have a nice little conversation with them, explain to them, and send them up the product for them to test it out for themselves. That your product worked perfectly fine with no problem whatsoever. Your product came out of a batch number, which means your product was tested. We have other people have the products with no returns. So your bank's going to get you for bank fraud, and then we're going to sue you for fraud. See, it doesn't go well. This is what happens when you back your products up. But if you don't back your products up, you can't do any of that stuff. You can't. You have no way to back it up yourself. All right. Go our little portrait screen. We do a little demonstration right here, just showing you, because again, we do these, and then we got people coming, they go, well, they don't know how to use the Christie projectors, first of all. They don't use them. But just show you that a white screen creates, and we do it all the time. We show a setup in here, we show a whole portrait, whatever we're using, and then we have to do this demonstration every single time someone comes in. So it shows them at the end of the day, they have all these questions like, okay, what if it's black paint laying against it? Would that match? You know, I heard gray screens produced. We got that there for testing to show them. And they already know what the white screen is going to do. That's the reason why they're here, because they have the white screen that doesn't work. So that's the kind of stuff you got to look at. Customer, got to go in there and look through all that testing. Request them at the end of the day that I want to see testing on your product before I buy this. Is your product batch number verification? They try to make batch numbers so bad, as if companies have been using batch numbers for the longest time. We didn't just make up batch numbers. That's how I found out about batch numbers. Companies have been using them for centuries. Have been using batch numbers. It's nothing that we made up. So they do it to protect their companies. But individuals try to make a batch number look faulty. He's got to fight a batch number lawsuit coming up. The Digital 2.0. He's being sued in court for that, because he wouldn't violate the batch number on it. And this product was tested and shipped out to him. Everything was documented, recorded. So that was also too, we have to add that into the control number. Let me see. Where are we going from here? Let's get something else. I want to do some portrait. Let's take these down. We're done. The white screens, all that. We got to just, every time we show up something, we got to do it. Now, watch this. So now, I won't even move. So new, coming back to you, the new zoo review. Oh my goodness. I was watching the classics from back in the day. Man, I halfway forgot about half of that stuff when I was a kid, when I used to watch. The new zoo review. I used to watch it when I was a kid. Man, that brought back a lot of memories, man. PBS, watching PBS. Vertical screensavers. Oh, we looked on here already. Okay, so we go past time? We always go past time. It's what we do. It's what we do. We always go past time on here. Always. All right, so simple setup. Easy to do. 187, our technology, which is the lowest one we have, comes in around, I think, 24 ounces. Ounces at 187, free shipping. It does this amazing stuff we showed you from the door. That's why we show you, I like to do the comparison screens. I don't like to do them on standalones because, again, I want people to see what the technology does. So you can see gray screen doesn't work against that technology. White screen absolutely doesn't pick up, and it doesn't match black paint on any level whatsoever. The white levels are absolutely outstanding, especially with all the light we have in here. Projector, we're using it here, but you can get these on eBay for like 60 bucks. I've seen some for $100. This is the Chrissy LW400. Actually, we're using ours through our ports over here for HDMI. Because if you don't want to use an adapter, you want to use an extra adapter and extra HDMI, you can convert one of these really easy. So that is, I got to give the name. I'm going to order one of these and give you the name what it is, because you got to be careful. I can do a whole entire video on YouTube about these adapters right here. Some are good, some are extremely bad. So some do work and some don't work. And I had to test a lot of them. Man, look how crazy that's freaking looking over there. And again, like I said, this projector has lens shift. I like this projector because this projector has multiple things you can do with it. There's a lot of cool stuff going on in the menu. And the menu is user-friendly at the end of the day. Do you know these projectors have bass? The audio on these projectors are freaking insane. Usually the audio you get in your projectors are trash. But the audio in these projectors, yeah, they got bass, tremble, the whole 9-yard surround sound. These things are incredible. Absolutely incredible. Which I find interesting about the venues is that the venue projectors, this particular model right here, if you bought it brand new, because somebody said, what if I get it brand new? Brand new, they're $2,000. Brand new. They're $2,000. This projector was discontinued in 2012, and they're still $2,000 brand new. And that's without, you get the lens with these? Yeah, you get the lens. They're $2,000. If you get them used, they're 60 bucks. The lamps, 35, 40 bucks. That's basically about it. Usually most of the time you get these, they already swapped out the lamps already on them. It's about 3,000 hours on them before they actually start to go. And since in our technology, we don't require you to burn the lamps at a high rate in order to get your image to pop up, we're doing it in whisper mode. Whisper mode. Let's get a waterfall in here. I'm liking this right here. Let me get something for you guys that are requesting lights out. Like, oh, lights out. Ken, can you do lights out? Give me lights out. This, give me lights out. Give me lights out. Oh, looks like a portrait, man. I freaking love the portrait modes. Portrait is, I had a best screen I had for work was portrait, man. I love portrait screens. I had an 80-inch portrait screen, man. That screen was amazing. I freaking loved it. I want another one. I had the 235.1s and I had the portraits, man. I like the 235.1s and the portrait. That's why the screen is designed, this giant screen we have here is designed to do multiple applications. We can do portrait. I'm going to get a 235.1 projector in here. We can do 235.1 setups in here. The screen's designed to do a lot of cool stuff. And man, I love doing work on the portrait. Oh, no. Ooh. Overlook. Yeah, this is ILEG screen paint. That's why I said to sit there and make a statement that a gray screen? What, turn that? No. No. As a matter of fact, like I said, I'm one of those people, when you walk into a courtroom, I like to put the nail in the coffin deeply. So I'm going to bring in 10 different gray paints, and that screen right there is going to turn every single one, is going to blend into every single one of them at 10. He's going to paint them all in. Yep. You're going to paint every single one of them in. Now, 10 of those screens, those gray paints, can't turn that technology so dark. But that black paint can do it? Yeah. He's pretty much going to have him snitch on himself. That's what he's going to do. He fails that, again, because we've had extensive problems from him going and making these false demonstrations. If he fails this, he's looking at time served for each one of these. He doesn't count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and whatever it gets to. He's got to serve, so he's got to go to court for each time. If he did the 7s, he'll be in for the 7s. Each one, they're separate. Consecutive, I think it's the second that he's going after that. Yeah, and they can carry 30-year prison sentences each. It's pretty bad. So yeah, he's done some real dumb stuff. Simple creations. That's pretty nice. That's why I said, like, these YouTubers who do this stuff in the day, we got to contact them. Say, hey, look, I need to borrow your video. We'll give you some money. We just need to be able to show it off here and there. Yeah, I'm contacting people at the end of the day. You got some really cool stuff. Yeah, we'll pay you. At the end of the day, what we got here? We got a matrix here? Oh, goody gumdrops. Because we're going to need this for our glass display. We're going to have a couple people on payroll. Because we need your stuff for glass display. I'm not going to bring your stuff without paying you. I'm actually turning the glass in the matrix. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm shopping for a storefront with a lot of glass. I took you all away from me. Let me see. Yeah. So we get our setup come Christmas time. The freaking display we're gonna put on the glass is gonna be freaking hell. It's gonna be like a show. We can do a show on the glass. He's gonna do the whole thing. He's the AI guy. He's doing the whole thing. It's gonna be a whole Christmas show. We can do dancing snowman, the whole 9-yard Santa sled blowing through, all that stuff. We can make the windows turn into snowstorms and all that stuff. Yeah, he's gonna do some crazy stuff with it. So it's gonna be like a window display where people can come and watch all this stuff. It's gonna be a whole. We're gonna do a whole freaking show on there, right on the glass. And if we get a corner building, which I would love to get a corner building, and we get glass that wraps around, we can have people running from one side over to the other side and doing snowball fights and stuff like that right off the glass. That's why I said you got to think outside the box when it comes to ad tech. You think crazy stuff. You can do whatever you want. The woman liked the idea of having the flowers grow around her windows. She liked that. So he's going to do that, and then putting in this device where it smells like flowers when you go near the windows. Got to think outside the box. We're in the matrix, people. We're in the matrix. The matrix. The matrix. We're in the matrix. Now, if you pop over to YouTube, I mean not YouTube, eBay, they have the projectors over there. That's the one. The reason why I like these projectors, like I said, the box, they're square off at the bottom, which makes them easy to stand up. And there's a handle on the other end. The vents are in the front, which I should have mentioned that before. Apologize about that one. But yeah, the handles are on the side. All the vents are in the front. So then the vents are in the front, you don't run the risk of blocking any vents. The air filters are on the very top of it. So the only thing we have at the bottom we have it sitting on is a handle. There's nothing there but a handle, so it makes it a perfect projector for portrait, and it's square. I love using these things. Definitely love using them. I've always wanted a portrait setup, and now I can get one for a little cheap price because we don't require the expensive projectors. Got the woods, and we got a nice waterfall. Let's do a waterfall. A waterfall, yes. And just show you the white surface. It does not leak. Even the light doesn't leak. Oh, I thought about something. Taco jacked up the floor. I gotta put a new floor in because he jacked it up with his freaking claws. But I should do like a night display with a waterfall and do the floor. We should project off the floor. Because what we have on the floor is literally coated. Just taco to claws to it, that's all. So next time I know to put in a yoga mat. We do a yoga mat and we're going to coat that so it's a portable screen, turn into a portable screen, and I'll put that down to the displays off and he can have the floor. Question, where is the ultra circle at? Oh, it's over there. It's over here. Let's see. Game system. You don't do a lot of lights out, so it's pretty good. You didn't fire up. You're probably do that. Let's see, power cord. Power cord, power cord, power cord. Let me do the floor. Let me see, it depends on where we're going to put it at. Where it's going to hit. What? We need a power cord. Oh, waterfall. Raindrops falling on my head. Do 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 do. Gotta break open the controller. I gotta clean this thing off. But I'm feeling some Pac-Man today coming on. And I got the Pac-Man controller here. I got a flight simulator too. I gotta get to work on that, play with that for a little bit. Because these games, the verticals, the video games in vertical, I forgot I got pinball on this thing. We gotta do some pinball on here. Definitely got some pinball and vertical. Alright, cool. Definitely some gaming off of here. Just to make the videos today. The videos today come about all about vertical. We'll do vertical today. And I'll show you on get it together. I don't want to hear it. Mr. Showboat. Rawr. Rawr. He's feeling frisky today. Extra frisky. All right. Activate. Let's see projectors. Same projector I have here. And I've showed this projector up in multiple locations. Right here. So, filter's at the top. The handle is at the bottom. Right there, that's the handle at the bottom, next to the crazy cat. Lens shift here. Heat blows out through the front. Right there. Because we got it in eco mode, so that's why you can't really hear it all that. We have your HDMI ports and VGAs, which can be converted into HDMI ports you could choose. It's got the analog high definition back in the day. BMC, if you're into BMC. You can also get BMC to VGA too. If you ever get one of those CRT projectors and there's a bunch of BMCs back there, you can get BMC to VGA, and then VGA can be converted to HDMI. Let me see. And of course your VGAs and sound outputs and all that stuff. Pretty easy. Then shift capabilities right there. Shift your projector up and down. The menu button, source button, a power button, and source button. Pretty easy. Okay, and projector right there. $60. Same one I got, except it's in white. Got another one right there. So they're cheap projectors. Lamps. That's where I get mine from. $45 right there. That's it. I did a couple of them with the lamp replacements, so it's pretty easy to do. $60, you can set one of these up. These are fantastic, like I said, because our technology absorbs all that light, and we're in commercial environments anyway. You can set this up for your business. All right, I'm going to do this floor. But over here, Mr. Gretel, which again, running around, is separating the mats, Gretel. You know I'm about to do a floor projection. Get you run around. My hands are. Can we chill for a minute? Raw. he's going to chase the fish on the floor. Here. No, chill. Don't be a jerk. Wait till he sets something up beside. I'll be a jerk today. Cut it out. He's running right under my feet. I'm stepping on him. Thank you. I'm going through a corridor. So better you being over there. I'm going to step on you by accident. Be a jerk. There's 4 of them. Let's see how many of it is. Where are you at? I'm trying to find a place of reports. Okay, you got to do me a big favor. I'm sorry, buddy, you're not going to like it, but you got to go in your bunker because, again, I got to open up that door. It gets hot in here, and I don't feel like getting cold. There we go. Come on, all the way in. It doesn't keep you out of my hair. If I don't have any, it'll keep you out of my hair. I want to do something real quick. Later on, we get to cool down here a bit, you can come back and come out, no problem. Door. You got 2 projectors running in here. That's why I want to do the whole setup in here. Once I get the screen put in here, I'm doing the whole setup in picos. Because these projectors generate. They generate. And then we got them at ego. Still generates some heat. Alright, cool. Get some air in here a little bit. The left or right shift on it? Ah, no. It was a Sony that had that one on it. So I think we'll look it up. Tighten it, you gotta lift it up. We're gonna need a screwdriver. Alright, let me see. Put this one's cleaned up in here. Now we're going to do the floor, but the floor, as I said before, basically doesn't have ILE technology on it. It has the old one. It picks up, as you can see, but it'll pick up much better if we had the other technology applied to it. So we're going to do the floor. I'll do the lights out. I'll show you what the lights out. Gray and white won't read off the floor, and I'll alter short the projector setup. settings right now. I have to warn people if they pop in. My door's open. I'm on camera. Hey, on camera. To get the consent. Hey, there's some gaming off the floor. We should be good. We should be good. I still don't have the zoom in, so. Alright, wait for Sony to boot up. Get the boot in the boot. I don't want to make the video that long, but then I figure, hey, let's do the floor too, and let's do something, a floor demonstration. We haven't done any gaming off the floor at all, period. I can only did it one time. So, it's loading up over there. Once everything loads up, I'll bring you over. I gotta do some of the settings. Now with the projector, the internet. So the internet's kind of interesting in here. I'll tell you, I can tell how hot this area gets for the simple fact that I can literally, the outside hallway feels like air conditioner in here. It does. Look how hot it gets in here. You can beat the crap out of the support. I think the sleep system is thrown way off, man. The light system, piece of crap. I'm happy to have these, because the other ones I had, the other light system, he was busting my lights up in the other place. I don't know what he was doing with the lights. I keep replacing them. These he can't mess up. Got that linked up. I can bring you around. He's going to be mad because you can't wreak havoc right now. But you can't wreak havoc because I got things to do. So they're actually the right side up. But you know, that's, oh no, we're reversed. No, we're not. Never see Pac-Man Championship. I did change this one. Okay. I like to put this up, so higher up. Ah, they put it right there. Even high up, and it hit. True. Same thing, really? Pretty much just stretch it out a little bit. Right, we did miss the black couple inches on that side. Don't snag it around my legs. I'm not doing that. Alright, take my account please. There we go. Let's see. see. Controller. Where's the Manhattan at? Yeah. It's Tekken 80. I gotta start getting up the floor more. We're always up in different videos. We do portrait, now we're doing some floor projection technology. Just got finished shooting some little shorts on that. Definitely gonna do pinball on the other one on the screen. He's going for the chase. Oh, hit it, hit it, hit it. Oh, come underneath the webby. Oh, that'd have been a perfect finish. Got the extra and finished it and got the ghost. That'd have been a perfect. Ho, ho, ho. That'd have been awesome. Oh, wait. Don't I got this floor changes, doesn't it? The light system does. One of these has that capability. I'll worry about it later. Let me try something else right now. Let me see. And my all-time favorites. Infinity Drive. Yeah, so we're going to do the gaming mat with the new gaming technology under ILEG, which is much more brighter than the other one.
Fire power. Battery over here.
And they'll be portable, so you can take them anywhere you want.
Battery here. here. Shut down. Battery here. Accelerate. Battery up. Firepower. Battery here. Shut down. Weapon maximum.
I should have taken out the floor.
Battery over here. Firepower. Shut down. Battery here. Firepower extended. Battery over here. Accelerate. Battery up. Shut down. This is incredible. Firepower. Battery over here. Shut down. Battery here.
Oh! Oh, come on, come on, come on. Let me get out of this back.
Shut down.
Good, I need that.
Battery over here. Shut down. Accelerate.
Ooh.
I need energy.
Ah, lost power. Man. Over there. Where's the controller? space. Koi fish screensaver. Oh, that's pretty easy. He's gonna fight for that one. Some koi fish. I'm gonna get my screen in there too at the same time. Starfield screensaver. Like I said, we get this all the time. Anytime we show up for display, the first thing we get is, we can do the same thing too. Can't. That's a gray screen. That's a gray screen. That's why in applications, if we have to map out a floor and we have to show a star field on a floor or whatever they want out of space with black contrast or whatever, we can't use gray screen. It won't read it. And that is on my $60 NEC projector over there. Same thing goes for the lava lamp display. It requires a 100% black background, so it can't read on a gray screen. It doesn't work. There's a whole lot of stuff that gray screens can't be used in. But if your floor has white, there's white screen there, it won't read it. It has to be black for it to function. The reason why we say this is because I try to explain the gray screens within the day, and I've been to form sites. Your product is basically obsolete on so many levels, it's not even funny. I can't even use it in the dark. Doesn't work. Got to come out of that denial stage of thinking your stuff will work everywhere today. It doesn't work anywhere today. Maybe back then it might have, but not today it won't. some FLE on the floor. And this is an FLE technology on the floor. So, no, your stuff doesn't work. There's remote controls in here, left and right. There's some remote controls. Just had them.
It's 40% off the spring shop right now at Hobby Lobby. The total refresh has never been easier. Make your space inviting. Make it comforting. And
You think I do it to be rude? I'm not being rude. It don't work. Being honest with you. I'm not doing it to be rude. It does not work. I accept it. It's a problem. They won't accept it. They won't accept it at all. Period. All right. Whatever. Huh. Oh, snow. And I can see if I never made gray screen paint, and I'm making these consultants making these accusations, but I used to make gray screen paint. A heck of a lot better than some of you at the end of the day. So with that being said, again, it's an obsolete product. If you're claiming you're not obsolete, well, tell me how you're going to work in my environment. Lights on and off. Yeah, the wormhole. Oh. What's the speed on this? Oh, it's pretty slow. Cool. Yep. That's all I'm saying at the end of the day. Show me where and how that's going to work in my environment. Looks like you're jumping in, doesn't it? Heave ho! They drop you in there. Yeah, but that's all it is. Alright, first video gets too long. We're getting this video. Cool, man. And come back in, do lights out display of our floor, lights out, and our screen over here. Guess how much this setup cost me at the end of the day? You wouldn't believe how much. I paid $60 for that ultra short throw projector sitting over there, and this projector here cost me $50, so that's $110 for my projector. And then the coating for this floor, I think it was around, this is an FLE. FLE is around two something, and the screen, roughly under $1,000. I mean, that's way under $1,000. My projector setup, $110. That's it. I paid $60 for that projector. I'm gonna come back in and show you what a floor and wall display at $110. Gotta go. God bless.